All right, we are continuing our 5-3 lesson. This is graphing linear equations. Your learning target today, what you're going to be able to do, is identify slope and y-intercept. Actually, you're going to be able to graph. That's your learning target. And you're going to be able to graph fast. Do you remember chapter 4? We graphed using a table of values, right? I said pick -2 to +2. But instead of making a table of values, we are going to graph easy. It's a quick graphing method. Recall that we know slope-intercept form. I call it slope-intercept because I'm given the slope and the intercept. So this is slope-intercept form. We know that slope is rise over run. So that's really your change in y over your change in x. We also know that the y-intercept is where you cross the y-axis. So as long as you're given, write that down, as long as you're given your y-intercept and your slope, you can graph any line. Now going based on what we did yesterday, if I had a slope of 1/3 and a y-int of -2, I can easily graph the line. I say, okay, this is the -2 is where I cross the y-axis, so I would make a dot there. And my slope is 1/3. That's my rise over my run. So it means I rise up 1 over 3. 1, 2, and 3. Up 1 over 3. 1, 2, and 3. There is my line.
Should we do that?
Okay? So what I'm saying to you is instead of making a table of values, now you can quickly graph a line as long as it's in slope-intercept form. In slope-intercept form, the y is always by itself, and it's mx plus b. Slope, y-int. Okay? All right, we're going to move forward. So, steps for graphing from slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. That's a formula I just want you to remember for the rest of your entire life. Y equals mx plus b. Steps for graphing. The first thing you're going to do is plot the y-intercept. Always, the first thing you do is plot the y-intercept. Secondly, you use the slope to plot at least 2 other points. So now while you're just getting started, how I want you to handle this, first turn this to plus a negative, because that's not y equals mx plus b. So I need you to be able to see that the b is really -2. So what I do when I first started, I identified what my y-intercept was and what my slope is. Okay, so I put those little arrows. My slope is 3/4. My y-int is -2. Step 1, plot your y-int. I'm making a dot at -2. So everybody on this graph, make a dot at -2. Y-intercept of -2. So it's the y, not the x. So I'm making a dot at -2 right here. Y is -2 right there. And then I'm going to use my slope to find 2 other points. My slope is 3/4. That means I rise up 3 and I run, rise over run, but run really means you go over. When I'm running, I'm going over somewhere, right? So I rise up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 1 point. From here, rise up 3, 1, 2, and 3, over 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Connect it. It is a line not a line segment. I count it totally wrong if kids do this. So many kids say, done. That is not a line. That's a line segment, and I will not allow that. You have to have it extend past the points and arrows on both sides. It's not that hard. So make it look very nice. I want to be so proud. I want it to be like, oh my gosh, this is the best 8th grade class I've ever had. Because you all make lines. Okay, so what is the y-intercept of this next? 1. Y-int is 1. Okay, what is the slope of this line? 1. It's a little 1 in front. So the slope is 1. So when I say my slope is 1, it's really 1 over 1, because I have to have a rise over a run. So my rise is 1, I run 1. Rise over run. First, plot my y-intercept. My y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to make a dot at 1. I'm going to just make this a little bigger for me to see. So I make a dot at 1. That's my y-int. And now I use my slope. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. I can keep going forever and ever, but you only need 2. Extend past the points